Well, hello peeps, it's a Hillbilly Halfwit. How are you today? How is Gaza today? He's not very happy. He's just, somebody mentioned in the comments yesterday, it's time for a vent. Well, it is time for a vent. If you don't follow my channel usually, every now and then I have a bit of a vent, and just to get things out in the open, because I'm one of these people who's like that. I'm not one of these false people. I'm one of these people that's got into his 50s, and when I reached my late 40s, I realised bollocks to everything. Say what you think. Don't care who you upset. Life is for living. It's not for walking around pretending who you were. People pretending they're being offended. Your life is for saying what you think, and I firmly believe that if you say what you think, you're better off in the long run. Because if you say what you think, that it might upset somebody, but you get it out in the open, it's all done with, out of the way, chucked behind you, and you move on from there. And you'll find out a lot of the time that when people realise that, they're fine with you. That's what I find. And people who don't want to be your friend don't want to be your fucking friend anyway. And they bollocks to them. You know what I mean? That's what you realise when you get to middle age. There's too many people going round this world today wanting to be everybody's fucking friend. And you can't be. Because most of these people, especially a lot of the younger generation, I don't mean them all, they've been taught to be afraid of everybody. They're taught to be afraid of everybody who has a different opinion. Even though that opinion of somebody like me is mostly the truth. And pretty much always the truth. People don't want to hear the fucking truth anymore. They're in their little cocoon. They're in their little world where everything is perfect. Majority of the people who think like this work for the civil service, and they have their money dripping in. They don't have to worry about anything. Then when they hit 45, they have their huge fucking pension. They don't worry about anything. During COVID, most of them were being paid huge fucking amounts of money to stay at home. They loved it. They fucking loved it. You see it on Jeremy Vine. Lots of them people that are on there, the guests that are hand-picked off these left-wing places, were writing books. Oh, I had a good convid. I had a great time in convid. Lots of them working for the civil service, getting paid about 300 fucking thousand each. Mark Drakeford, one of them. He was the first person that I really thought we got serious problems in Wales. That's when the big alert went off in my head. When I realised how quick they changed into authoritarian people. Convid was an excuse to bring out their inner thoughts. The bullied people became the bullies. And that's what communism does. They start off as socialists and they become communists because they want to force their fucking views onto us all. Whether we like it or not. And most of them are in a minority. Now in Wales, Neil Kinnock created that situation with the Welsh Senedd. He realised if we created a Welsh Senedd, that Labour would always be in power. And that's what's happened for the last 25 fucking years. It only got through by about 2,000 votes out of the whole thing of Wales. It shouldn't have got through. It should have had another vote. And if people had realised then what has happened since, that we'd be a fiefdom run by fucking Fabians, it would never have happened. The media, the lot, they got sleeper cells from the Fabian Society. All these politicians from the Conservatives, Liberals, they're all in it. Lots of the top civil servants and down below. They've created these sleeper cells. Quietly moved their places into government, and they're using it. And they've taken over our country. And if you say that out loud, people think you're right wing. I'm not right-wing. I say this all the time. The reason I voted Brexit was because of Tony Benn, John McDonnell, Jeremy Corbyn even. When I used to work in a factory in my local town, all these factories in the areas were given massive fucking grants to move to the EU. That's why I voted Brexit. That's the reason I voted Brexit. Because it destroyed my little areas. They were given massive grants to move. And the factory I used to work in, where most of the employment in my area came from that place. And there was good wages, just moved to Lithuania or something like that it was. Loads of the factories in Wales, it's happened to it all. Then they stopped the coal mining in Wales. These pricks in charge here now. The Welsh Labour Party now is anti-coal mining, anti-steel making, anti-any fucking industry, anti-farming. And Welsh Labour originated from a fucking coal mining union. And now they won't even give any fucking things for new coal mining. They're actually against it. We've got big trouble in this country at the moment. We've got a bloke in charge there, the bum boy, who's been put in there by the civil service. Now, if people don't know this, I've got to say this allegedly, but when he was in his teens, he was actually working for the government as a spy. Now, it's easy to find out. You'll find the picture of it all. When he was going to university, you'll find out. And lots of this stuff, nobody talks about it, but it's openly there. When he was working as one of the top lawyers in the country, he had a special deal with his pension. One of the only ones, he had a special deal with his pension where they couldn't tax his pension. I'm not making this shit up. These people are civil service. It's the establishment to the core. He's been put in there by them to do their job. And their job is because they bankrupt this country. I don't know if it's on purpose, but they're bankrupting it on purpose with this net zero stuff. They are trying to get everybody who owns property to not own property. That's what their goal is. They want us all fucking skint. They want us all skint and not being able to pass over what you work through all your life to anybody. Because they want you scared. They want us all in a position where we've only got a couple of months, where we got a couple of months' money and we're scared and we have to comply. That's what's fucking happening. We have to comply. That's what they're doing. Well, it ain't fucking happening, boys and girls. We need to fucking stand up to this. It doesn't need violence. What it needs is do not comply. Make everything that they want off you fucking hard work. Make your council tax hard work. Make them have a fucking job to get their council tax off you. I don't care if it hurts the system. Any little thing will do. Anything fly your flags. And if they won't let you go in groups of 5, go in groups of 2. Split up into bigger groups. Don't bloody contact the police about demonstrations. Fucking just go. Because all that'll do is that they'll get people there ready for you otherwise. They want trouble. The media wants it to look like this small amount of wankers that turn up as counter-protests are bigger than the normal protests. And the reality is, they're fucking union members. And I looked into this a while back, and Diane Abbott and the second in command of Corbyn's new party are at the chairman of them organisations. It's very easy to find this out. Do not comply. Don't do violence, because that's what they want. We're on this tipping point in this country where everybody knows what's happening, and there's a small minority of 70 million people think they want to boss us all about, and it ain't gonna fucking happen. It ain't gonna fucking happen. They're trying to take every bit of property you have, every bit of money you make. They're trying to, because they bankrupt this country. All the successive governments, a fucking lot of them, have bankrupt this country. Every month, they're borrowing money to pay our interest. Because the country doesn't make enough. Because they're spending so much on the civil service. Is it 46% of the people are paying for the rest of the civil service? And these fucking freeloaders that are coming in. Now you think about this. I heard this, was it yesterday? Now say you're a person, a male or a female, and you decided, oh, you've gone around the world and you met somebody that you want to come here. So say you met a Filipino girl or something. So you want to get married to this Filipino girl, bring him into the UK. It happens a lot, doesn't it? Or from some other country. You are not allowed legally to bring that girl or wife into the country unless they've got a job where they can earn 30,000. But if you're a fucking migrant carrying a machete coming across on a boat, you're straight in. Give you a house, a fucking lot. Even though that bloke with his wife has probably lived here all his life, paid taxes all his life. That's the state of the fucking UK. You have to remember that the Labour Party, there's only less than 30% of the people voted for the Labour Party in the UK. Rest of them voted for other parties or didn't vote. And I say on here, the only way to sort this out is to get reform in. You can get break all the reform vote up by making these Ben Habib parties if you want. But personally, I think that's a little bit suspicious that they're trying to split the reform vote. I just do. That doesn't seem right to me. But whatever you lot make of that. The only way to sort this is to vote reform, even though you might not even like them. That reform is the fox in the hen house. That's what reform is. That fox is going to go into that door and find out where all this waste is. It'll do things wrong. Of course, people do things wrong and they'll be sacked or whatever. But 80% of that stuff will be right. 80% of this waste. 80% of all these massive pensions these people are getting. All these crooked fucking civil servants from the Fabian Society. And if we got one thing, if we could get an investigation into the Fabian Society and make everybody who's a member have to put it up in the House of Commons. For judges a lot. That would make a massive difference. Now, you might feel great if you vote for another small party. It might make you feel very proud. And I personally don't mind Ben Habib. But if you do, it's a fucking waste. Because you're going to split your own vote. It's better to get 80% of you what you want or nothing. Because if you vote for Ben Habib and that lot, you won't get anything. That's the fact. Because what will happen is when it comes closer to the election, they'll do what they did to UKIP and them other parties. They'll go through them and one by one they'll say he's a fascist, he's this, he's that. And then they'll try and join him to this party and they won't be able to be MPs. That's what will happen. That is what will happen. Reform is the only party that's got a better system for voting people in as MPs and members than anyone. That's why they're being ruthless, because last time in the last election, Channel 4 were trying to make things up and they were putting operatives in there to pretend they were right wing, but they can't do it. Of course they'll have some in there, but most of them are stooges. So I've rambled on for 14 minutes about this. Was that a rant? I don't know, was it or not? But there we are. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you'll click down below. I'll put them caps and shirts in there. If you're interested, you don't have to, of course. It'd be very grateful if you did. And like I tell you, I only make £2 on each item. So if anybody thinks I make a lot of money out of it, I don't. So all the best, guys.